My grandmother has two daughters. The eldest daughter is my aunt, the youngest is my mother. It just so happens that the sisters don't communicate with each other. My aunt hated my mother from the moment she was born. I remember my mother telling me how she was brought home from the hospital, so Zinka, aunt, stamped her foot and said that she didn't need such a sister at all. That's how, from the very cradle, one might say, hatred originated from scratch. Zinka was envious and quarrelsome. He tells lies about his sister, lies out of the blue, and gloats as he watches his grandmother beat up an innocent woman. And my mother, by the way, has felt boots all her life. And they offend her and deceive her. She forgives everything, believes in everyone. And he suffers all his life from his excessively soft character. So I felt sorry for Zinka. I tried to evoke sisterly feelings in her. It didn't work out. The sisters grew up, got married, and each had 3 children. Soon my mother left my grandmother for the city to live with her husband, but I stayed with my grandmother. I didn't want to leave her in any way. She's been like a second mother to me since childhood, and we've always had a strong bond. That's how I lived with her until I was 18. It wasn't easy for me alone. My aunt lived across the hall and wouldn't let me breathe. Then Grandma will be admitted to the hospital and the police will be called on me. They say, I beat my grandmother, bully her, bring her to the hospital. He'll slap my hands with an umbrella, or God knows what else. For what? I realized that later, when she moved Sasha, her eldest son, in with her grandmother. She needed an apartment, but I was in the way. Sasha often asked his grandmother to sign a deed of gift for him. Grandma always answered that, when I die, the apartment will remain for my daughters as a gift for me after my death. I won't sign it to anyone and don't ask. At the age of 18, unable to withstand my aunt's onslaught, I went to live with my mother. I visited my grandmother, but very rarely. Zinka, as soon as she finds out that I've arrived, screams like a mad woman all over the street. He threatens Grandma that he won't take care of her if our breed comes here again. Grandma just lowered her eyes guiltily and said, "Don't mess with her." We tried to pick up Grandma, but how can you persuade an elderly person to move to another city from places where the best years have passed? My grandmother died 4 years ago. We found out only a month after her death. No one informed us or even tried. Sasha made it clear to us that his grandmother had signed the apartment for him. And we didn't even think about it. We just cried that we hadn't seen our loved one off on his last journey. As time passed, the tears subsided. One night I have a dream. My grandmother calls me from a health resort and asks me to bring a sedative. My mom and I bought it and went to her place. There are a lot of elderly people there, all dancing to the accordion. We were looking for Grandma, but we didn't find her. The next night, I have another dream. I'm going to my grandmother's, and there's a white limo in front of the entrance. And I can't get past this car. I had to climb through the cabin. I'm crawling, and there are a lot of people in this limo. And everyone is drinking, laughing, and the music is blaring. I barely got out from the other end and galloped into the entrance. And the door in the entrance does not close. People are rushing back and forth incomprehensibly. I ran into my grandmother and was stunned. It's a mess. The tape recorder is playing. There are some puddles on the floor. Well, there must have been a party here. I look. Grandma is lying in the room. She's wearing her weekend dress, her favorite. And for some reason, There are handfuls of coins and bundles of money lying at the feet. I went up to her, but she didn't open her eyes, just lay there. "Grandma," I say, "why is your mess like this?" "Yes, Sasha walks all the time, turns on all the music. I have no strength. I'm tired, don't let him come anymore. I'm tired of walking." I was really angry. I think that bastard has already felt like a master here. Why don't you open your eyes? I'm asking. What's the use? I won't see you anyway. Tamara, Grandma's sister, sent her regards to you, but I don't remember where. Thanks, I say, and hello to her. I just realized the next morning that Tamara died a long time ago. I figured out my grandmother's request the second time and called my aunt. And she boasts that she goes to her grandmother's grave every day, and she wears live flowers. I asked her not to go so often. Grandma is unhappy. She wants peace so that they don't trample around there. At the same time, based on the second dream, I realized that the grandson of my grandmother's death was rejoicing. He had sat out the apartment. Since then, my double life began. I live at home during the day, and at night at my grandmother's. I started dreaming about her absolutely every night. And everything in my apartment, everything pulls me there. To be honest, I'm tired of it. There's been no end to these dreams for a year. I feel in my gut that it's not for nothing, but I can't understand what she wants to convey to me so important. And I went to the cemetery, and I lit candles in the church, and I talked to her in my head, all to no avail. A year later, the dreams began to repeat themselves one by one. We sit with our grandmother in her apartment, look at each other and are silent. Every morning I complain to my mother about these dreams. And one day I blurted out to her, "Let's call the settlement office, let's find out which one of them Grandma signed the apartment for." Honestly, I have no idea why I said that. It came out of me like a cannon. As it turned out, she didn't sign anything to anyone. And the carousel began to spin, trials, evidence, nerves. We've been suing for 2 years, and the deadline for accepting the inheritance has already been missed. But they won the court. Then for another year they begged their grieving relatives to buy out our share. Finally, Mom got what she was legally entitled to. But believe me, I would not agree to go through this 3-year hell for any more money. It's scary to remember how much tears we got out of it. And they sold it for pennies at all. The lawyer cost us the same money in 2 years. So it's not about pennies, we did it on principle, you know? And that's it, no dreams from that moment on. Grandma never came to me again. My relatives were at a loss for 3 years how we could get to the truth, because at that time it had already been a year since my grandmother's death. And I tell them, with Grandma's help, we were able to. They don't believe me.